Daily devotional, November 10th, 2025. God deals with our enemies. I cry out to God Most High, to God who vindicates me. He sends me from heaven and saves me, rebuking those who hotly pursue me. God sends forth his love and faith and his faithfulness. Psalm 57, 2-3. In order to enjoy our lives, we must trust God to deal with our enemies and those who treat us unjustly. Otherwise, we will waste our energy trying to do what only he can do. Excuse me. God is a God of justice, and he will make the wrong things right if we wait on him to do so. God doesn't always move as quickly as we would like him to, but his timing is always perfect. Excuse me, so sorry. A group of people once hurt me very badly and accused me of things I was not guilty of. They rejected me and spread rumors that hurt my reputation. And then 10 years had passed before they had apologized to me and told me that God had shown them that they were wrong. 10 years is a long time to wait, but during that wait, I grew in faith and learned to depend on God more than on people. Pray for those who have hurt you, bless them, do not curse them, and forgive them. In these ways, you will turn them over to God, and he will vindicate you and reward you for the pain you've endured. Father, thank you for being my vindicator. Grant me the grace and patience to wait on you as you deal with those who hurt me while I pray for them. So when he says, in these ways, you turn them over to God and he will vindicate you and reward you for the pain you've endured. So 2 things on that. Turn them over to God, meaning don't carry that bitterness and that hurt around with you, which is of course easier said than done. So you release it. It doesn't mean that they didn't do any wrong to you, but you release it to God and then, he can deal with it. He will vindicate you and then reward you for the pain you have endured. So God shapes us, he molds us, he prunes us through pain. So not always through pain, but sometimes through pain. And, then you get blessed later and you know what to do with it. It's like a spoiled child. They have everything in the world and they get everything right when they want it and they're not great. So it's not a good situation. God matures us, and then when we're ready for that blessing, we'll actually value it and, it'll mean something to us. In order to enjoy our lives, we must trust... Excuse me. Come on, guys. We must trust God to deal with our enemies and those who treat us unjustly. Yeah, I'm around somebody that treats me unjustly and poorly all the time, and I'm praying for them all the time. Sometimes they apologize, sometimes they don't. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it sucks. And I don't know. I'm not quite sure what it is about. You just pray for them and, pray that Jesus heal them and bless them, because I say this a lot. Hurt people, and those are the ones that they need our Lord the most. They need his help the most. Yeah, and God knows what's going on, with them and inside their own head and heart. But he does love us and he does care about us. And, he may allow us to suffer for a time, but he's with us, as we're going through whatever it is that we're going through. Yeah, and when she was talking about a group of people once hurt her very badly, 10 years had passed before they apologized. But, during the wait, she grew in faith and learned to depend more on God than on people. And that is huge, because people will let you down. And he doesn't want us to depend on people anyway. He wants us to depend on him. Love God with all of your heart, your soul, your strength, your mind, all of it. So, focus not on the storm, but on him. And, sometimes you're lucky enough to get an apology, sometimes not. And it doesn't have anything to do with your self-worth. Yeah, he's good to us. And, though it may not always make sense, God has a plan, whatever that plan is. And, it's usually like, hindsight's 2020. When you look back, years later or whatever, you're like, oh, that was it. That was, the reason or whatever. And you find that you gain wisdom or insight or, more faith, increased faith, or whatever it is. Alright, that's all I have for today. Thank you.